Hello and welcome to Offbeat Travel VK. I know it's been a moment since we had vlogs and videos here, but we are definitely back. Today, I want to bring in another informative video in our informative series for applying for a US passport for a US national born in the United States. I wanted to cover this topic because I think I've got a lot of comments to cover this on our channel, and I wanted to make sure we give you guys that piece of information, or at least share the information that, what we have done in terms of our experience. Again, as a disclaimer, this is no legal advice. This is not the only process or the only methodology to do this process. Take this with a grain of salt. This is just our experience. This is my experience doing this process, and which is what I'm sharing. Hopefully this is helpful. So I just wanted to put that disclaimer out. So don't hold me accountable if your application doesn't go as projected. Make sure you don't do your own mistakes, and do the right thing when you apply for your child's US passport. So I'll quickly go into that. Let's jump right in. So you usually go to the travel.state.gov and you will find for the apply for a child under 16, and then you will start reading the rules there, and it basically calls out, right? Avoid these top mistakes. Complete all sections on your form, including entering correct social security number. Do not leave anything blank. And if you're applying for the first time for your child with under 18, you should leave the form unsigned until you're instructed to do so at the center of submission. So closely follow the passport requirements and also the correct evidence that needs to be provided for citizenship. So the first step is, of course, fill out the DS-11 form. So you can do it via the form filler application that they have inbuilt, or you can just do it traditionally in your PDF. You can download the PDF and you can do that as well. I personally like you can do it this way as well. I just wanted to show you that you can do it with the PDF form filler. But I did it with the PDF version. So, you go to this page, it's the application form, 6 pages long. Please read all the instructions. I'm going to quickly go through some of the important ones to keep an eye on. Make sure that you and your spouse actually go. If you have a minor child, you need both parents to be present to give their consent. And there are exceptions, I'll talk about them, I think, a little bit down here. So there are 2 applications, right? You can become a US citizen as a child 2 ways. You can be directly born here, or you could be born outside, right? This particular one I'm going to cover is to be born in the United States. So of course you need the number one thing, that's the US birth certificate, and it basically gives you all the requirements that needs to be there. And if at all there's a reapplication, you need the old passport. In this case, this is the first application that I'm sharing with you. Proof of identity, right? Whatever identity proof that you have as a parent, make sure you have your driver's license, your own passport of whatever nationality, etc. A recent photograph. I would suggest usually just go to the USPS center where there is photograph available, and take your kid's picture right in front of them, because they can edit it and match the requirements as needed. Proof of relationship, parental relationship for under 16. The birth certificate will have everything, right? It covers as proof of US citizenship as well as proof of parental relationship. So that particular document is a must need for this application. And take all the other documents, read all this carefully, and make sure that you take all the necessary proof originals with you, because copies, you are actually going to send the original and they will send it to you back. So you need to take copy and original, but you'll have to send an original one with the application for your child. That is what I covered here. And then going down a little bit, I just wanted to go into the actual form. So straightforward form, select US passport book, passport card, or both, depending on what your requirement is, regular or large book. If you're a heavy traveler, you can get the large book. Fill in the last name, first name, middle name, all exactly as per the birth certificate of your child. Don't make any mistakes. If you do, just, start another application. Put in the right birth date, all the details. I'm not gonna dive into it. These are all fictitious details, so don't bother about what I'm entering here. You can just wait for this to be done. Take your time, enter it correctly with no mistakes, so that you don't have to redo this again and again. Give your primary contact number as a parent, right? So if anything is missing from your child's application, you need to provide the right email as well as contact information. Social security number, of course, will be your kid's social security number, because this is their application. Make sure that you don't enter your application. And then once you hear this point, they usually say stop, do not sign until requested. This is for the passport application facility folks to fill, and then you will be asked to sign at that place. So you can leave that for now, and then do the same thing on this page. Enter everything correctly. They ask you just to enter a couple of things that I think will be pulled into the passport, right? So you enter the parental information, right? Mother, father, parent. So you can, if you're entering the fathers first, cancel, strike through mother and parent, and then enter all the dad's details, and then do the same thing, strike out the father and parent here, and enter all the mother's information, and give all the right details. And then they ask a few questions. Please answer to the best of your abilities. Do not give incorrect information here. Have you ever been married? Yes, no. So the kid, of course, will be no in terms of marriage, but you can avoid if you enter no. And then occupation will be not applicable. If the child is very young, employer or school will be not applicable. And then give the permanent address again. You can enter the height, hair color, eye color, etc. accurately based on your child's features, and then give an emergency contact information right there. And then if you have ever applied a US passport in the past, if yes, give the information. If no, just hit that. And then once you take all these applications, you go to the facility, you take all the original documents, you give this form. They will have you take the photograph, provide the citizenship evidence. I told you, undamaged US passport from the past if valid. Or what we are covering here is showing you a copy of the birth certificate sample that they have put up on the travel.state.gov website, which gives you like all the things that need to be shown on the birth certificate that you are providing, right? These are usually standard. If you are born in any of the US states or territories, most likely you are going to get all of these requirements answered with that birth certificate. The next thing that you have to do is you have to also bring a photocopy of that same US citizenship evidence. Most likely it's your child's birth certificate. You must get that certified, and you must submit also a photocopy with all those requirements. Just check that out. You have to show your parental relationship. So you have to have another document or the same document, that is a US birth certificate, which covers the evidence that shows both the parents of the child. After that, if you don't qualify for any of that, you can bring in the other additional documents. The next one is you have to present your photo ID. So the parents or guardians must present at least one of the following items listed below. So most likely is the US state license or your own US passport or any other supporting document that's listed in this long list that is applicable to you and your situation. Go check that out. And I think it also mentions about some digital ID for certain driver license in some states. Then bring the original and then bring a photocopy of the same. If you have that, make sure you get that copy as well. And then 7 is very important for a kid under 16. Both parents need to be present and approve of the US passport application. So make sure both parents take out the time, 15 minutes, whenever both of them can, to that location and give their consent for applying for this. And if that doesn't apply, please check all the other scenarios that I have shown here. Read the right documents that you need to provide in terms of what your application has and provide the right things. Make sure, of course, to also provide a photograph that's no less than 6 months. I'm going to show you the photo requirements page. Needs to be 2x2, needs to be recently taken, as I mentioned, in color. Make sure that it's taken with a white background, no selfies and no filters and retouching, etc. So make sure you have all these things settled out. I'll call a few more requirements in the photography. Make sure the photo is clear, glasses are not allowed, certain things in the aspect as well as digital alterations, as I mentioned, are not allowed. Check whatever is applicable for your kid. Check the background. Specifically for children, they do allow a little bit of leeway, as kids cannot be in the same pose for a long time. But make sure these are correctly checked by you and you provide the right photography and photograph copies along with the application. So do give this a look and make sure you have all the requirements correctly in place before you go and make the payment and then complete the application. So the fees, again, going back, is $100 and the passport card is $15. If you apply for both, it is $115. And the execution fee at the facility is $35. So you can make a payment using whatever mode. It can be a check or a debit card. Please check that out. Once you have all these things lined up inside the United States, through this link, go to your zip code and find the nearest acceptable post office or any center that accepts this. So get an appointment here. It's by appointment only. You cannot just walk in. So you'll have to go to the USPS scheduler. So I will just give you a quick example of that on how you can schedule an appointment before you go there. Select the type of passport needed. It's new passport only and with photo services if you don't have the photograph. Technically, if it's minor, you just click 1 for minor. It also gives you, all the requirements. Just as a reminder, select a location, enter the zip code again. This is just again an example zip code. And you pick the one that's whatever convenient for you. And it'll show you all the timings here. So you will go through all the timings. You will see the available ones, the not available ones, and the date that you've selected. So select the date that works for you. It's usually 15-20 minutes. So make sure you pick the time that works for you and select and make that appointment. There will be an appointment code come in through you, and they will have the record on paper for you when you get there. So, go at the right time, provide the details, and then you will submit your application there. And then once post-submission, once it's a couple of weeks of this, you will get some form of a tracking number, and then you can keep tracking it until you get your children's passport. And then since you have submitted originals as an FYI, you will get those in separate mails. So don't panic. If your birth certificate of your child does not come with the passport, it will come as a separate mailer. So I think this covers everything in terms of an application for a child under 16 for a US passport. Drop in your comments and any questions below, and I will try to do the best to provide you the answers as soon as I can and to the best of my ability. So thank you so much again for watching this video on Offbeat Travel VK. Soon we will be back with a bunch of travel vlogs, and if not, do follow me on Instagram for the same name of We Travel VK, and as well as on other social media platforms. So keep an eye on this channel. You are going to see a lot of more content come through the New Year's, and talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks for supporting me. Bye bye.